Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda, and today I have for you another book tracker spread yearly whatever setup. My last video with the planner was my March setup, and in that video I mentioned that I moved out of my bullet journal, which was the Leuchtturm 1917. I really love the idea of bullet journaling, but I want mine to look a specific way, and I just am not artistic in any way. So it wasn't looking how I wanted, it wasn't functioning how I wanted. So I decided to move into a like faux happy planner with some Erin Condren printable pages on Etsy. And I'm keeping my setup mostly the same for books in the dot grid format. A lot of these spreads look pretty much identical, but I just want to show you what I'm using now to track my reading for the year. So these are the first two pages. The last page is the last week of December there for the weekly. And then on the back of that, I printed dot grid. This dot grid is from Jasenia Printables. It's the B6 TN size. I already had it, so I figured I would just print it out and use it, and it works pretty well for what I want it to do. So I've got the book stack again that just says, with the quote that says, "I'm in love with cities I've never been to and people I've never met" by John Green. I drew these with, I've got these Micron Zig memory system. They're not Micron, they're Millennium memory system pigment ink pens. This one is a 0.5. What I used for the outline of these books though was a 0.8. I think that's the only time I use the 0.8. And then to do the faux calligraphy there, I just used a blue one. And then the idea behind this page is to just write in the name of cities mostly that I run across in books. So anything in silver is a fantasy setting. Anything in copper is a fictional real life setting. And I'm using the Pilot G2 gel pen in 0.07. I have mostly been using just Ravenclaw colors. So I've got a navy blue, kind of a metallic blue, and silver in the Pilot G2 gel pen. And then the copper I'm using is a Pentel Slitchy. I don't really know what that is, in a 0.08. I found this on Amazon, and it's not 0.08, sorry, it's 0.8 millimeter ballpoint pen, gel pen. And I found this on Amazon. I know you can buy these in packs. I wanted to make sure I liked this because they are a little expensive before I bought it. So that's what I'm using. I do like it, but the tip is quite large. So it doesn't make writing the easiest just because it's kind of thick, and I'm used to writing in the Pilot gel pens, but that's okay. On this side, I have just a smaller scale of the book case. So I am going in, anything in silver is an audiobook, anything in bronze is an ebook, and anything in blue is a physical book. So I think it'll be fun just to see this stack filled in at the end of the year in all the different formats that I listen. Whereas last year I was switching colors each month. So it was a colorful stack, which had the same sort of concept of a different color each month for audio, ebook, and physical, but I think I'm gonna like this a lot better. And then I've just got this middle section here that says, "I have lived 1,000 lives and I've loved 1,000 loves. I've walked on distant worlds and seen the end of time because I read." That's a quote by George R.R. Martin. And I used all of the washi in my setups are from Creating & Co. For this one, it's if you can see it, it's a white washi with silver floating books. I think this is 5 millimeter or an 8 millimeter. I can't really remember, but that's what it looks like there. So moving on to the next couple of pages. I've got another book rating system here. So this is my star rating system broken down in my decimal range. So I give each of these categories a rating between 1 and 10, add them all up, divide by 8, and whatever the decimal point I get is then converted into my star rating. I've been using the Crayola signature markers. This is in usually their Christmas set for like hand lettering specifically, but I've been using this skinny side there for all of my headers up here. Again, in that same faux calligraphy. And for this page, I used the same floating book stacks in the 8mm and 5. I can't remember these sizes. And then I've got this dark gray floating book stack as well. So I'll show you what it looks like since it's just a little different design from the skinny book stacks. So there's that. And then on to this page, there are all my reading goals. So first goal is to read 25 of my 62 owned Audible books. That was at the end of 2019. Kindle books, I'd like to read 25 as well out of my 17 owned at the end of 2019. And physical books, I want to read 50 of my 155 owned at the end of 2019. So I'm doing okay for the month so far, for the year so far, since we're a little bit through March now. I also want to finish 6 of the 12 series I've already started, visit 30 different countries or places within books. I am almost halfway now. I've been switching, so I started with silver for January, bronze for February, and I'm in blue now for March, and then I'll switch back to silver for April and just filter through the colors that way. I also want to visit all 8 Wizarding World schools with the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners yearly challenge. I want to finish all 50 Pop Sugar reading challenges, which this year I really don't like these challenges. I debated on not putting them in this spread when I remade it, but I want to see how far I can get at least. I don't read books specifically for the challenges, just the books I pick up. If they fit, then I'll mark them off, but I'm not picking up a book to fit a specific challenge. And then this is a little different. So when it started, I had only heard about the yearly Creating & Co challenge. She has since decided to do the yearly and some seasonal challenges as well. So the yearly has 30 prompts and each of the seasonal have 15. So I've got a lot of different prompts to read through this year. And then we just move into my kind of monthly stats section. So same basic layout. I've got the month, all of my books that I read each month, whether I have put in the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners Facebook group, like which prompt each book fit for, whether I've posted a picture on Instagram. I've been trying to get a lot better about being more active on my Instagram. You can see that I'm still 2 behind in February. So that just kind of helps me keep track. I also color in what format it was. So I just know that silver is audio, bronze is ebook, and blue is physical. I've got the time or pages, and then I've got my star rating. And then in the bottom section, I total up my stats. So total number of books per month, total pages, total time, average rating. And then I started tracking how many books that I acquired throughout the month. So what format they were, if I unhauled them, if they have not been read yet and are going to my TBR, if I have read them, but I didn't own a physical copy, and then my total. So that's what it looks like blank. I still have to draw out the spreads for the rest of the year. I just ran out of steam a little bit, so I've got 9 more to do. So we'll get there. And then here, my series, this was, I shouldn't have called it series started. This should actually be like ongoing series. So instead of like in my bullet journal how I had 1 series per page, I decided to add more per page. That way I didn't have like 12 or 14 pages of, you know, not full, because some of these series are smaller than others. So I've got the Abortion series by Garth Nix. I think it might also be the Old Kingdom series. Anything that's got these squigglies in those sections are books that I read prior to 2020. So there's 5 books here. I've got After by Anna Todd. Same thing. This one is filled in with silver because I listened to it in February on audiobook. I'm keeping my colors consistent. And then we've got Cemetery of Forgotten Books by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I've got 2 more books to finish. Fallen by Lauren Kate. I finished 2 prior to 2020, and I've read 1 since. Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I've technically read through Frozen Tides, but I'm doing a reread of the series, and I want to be able to track where I am. So I have only marked off Falling Kingdoms because I read it last year. We've got the Winter Night trilogy. All of these are in alphabetical order except for Winter Night, but that's okay. So there's 2 more books left, and then the Gossip Girl series by Cicely von Ziegler. It's a 13-book series, and I've read 1. Actually, I've read probably 5 of them, but again, I'm rereading. I'm also using some more floating book washi from Creating & Co. at the top, just trying to keep it kind of consistent with the Ravenclaw theme is what I wanted to go for. So we've got Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I only have 1 book left. That's so exciting, of her published books. And then we've got, oh, I just realized I took my ring off to wash dishes and never put it back on. Next series I have is The Paper Magician by Charlie N. Holmberg. We've got Parasol Protectorate by Gail Carriger and Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. We've also got the Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. The last one had to fit over here because I didn't have enough room. And then Vampire Knight, which is a manga by Matsuri Hino, and I totally messed this one up because this goes up to 19, and I only wrote in 13. But chances are pretty good that I'm not going to read 8 of the manga this year. And then the other piece of washi I have here is also from Creating & Co. This one is Harry Potter themed. It's got the glasses, letter, lightning bolt, stars, and wands and things like that. So I had plenty of space there to kind of fill in a little bit. And then we move into the series I've started in 2020. So first series I started was A Court of Thorns and Roses. I have finished 3 of the 4 published books within that series so far. I also started The Graceling Realm. I've read 1 book in the trilogy. And then I started The Other World by Emma Hamm. I have read Heart of the Fae out of 6 books total. So any other series I start, I've got just a penciled in line drawn down the middle so I know where to start the list once it continues, if it continues. I hope I don't start too many series this year because as you just saw, I already have a lot that are going that I want to finish up. And then this page here is to track any readathons for the year. So I've participated in quite a few already. Hopefully I have enough space for the rest of the year, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And then the read-alongs I am participating in. So far, there's only 2 of them. I'm participating in the Cosmere read-along. which is to read certain books within Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere realm, world, whatever it's called. And then I'm also participating in the Lord of the Read-along and buddy reading the Lord of the Rings books with my friend Rainy over at Rainy Day Reads. Again, I've got a pencil line drawn down the middle, just that way if there's any more read-alongs I find out about. I was thinking about putting in the Books and Planners book club books for each month here, but I didn't. So we'll see what I use the rest of the space for. And then we get into the reading challenges. So the first page here is the Creating & Co. yearly reading challenge. I've got Paige's anniversary washi here. So we've got gray floating books. And then this is just kind of her shop colorway, I guess you could say. Book stacks with little things in it that kind of are like very Paige, who's the owner of Creating & Co. So, like I said, there are 30 prompts so far. I started this in January and I have stopped filling in the yearly as of the end of February. And then spring for me is basically March through May. Summer is June through August. Autumn is September through November, and winter is December through February. So my plan is once I finish a seasonal, all of the prompts, or if the book I'm reading doesn't fit, I'll go back in during that season and fill in the yearly. So we'll see how many I can get done. I'm trying not to overlap or anything, and I've got a note here to myself. I'm also not counting books that I read during Creating & Co. Readathons. There are 6 each year, and each of them has 5 reading prompts. I do double up within those readathons on reading prompts and books, but I'm not doing that with these reading prompts. So really, if I participate in all of her readathons, I've got 30, 60, 90, and then 5 times 6 is another 30. So I've got 120 books to read just with Creating & Co. prompts. We'll see how far I get. Then she's also releasing washi tape, the same kind of book stacks as before, just in different colorways with different deco on the shelves. This one's got gnomes, which I think is super cute. And then it's got like a green springiness to it. So I'm going to fill that in the bottom here for each of the seasons as those come out. The next yearly reading challenge I have is the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners Flourish and Blots 2020 Wizarding World Tour Challenge. And each of these are wizarding schools around the world, and each school has 7 different prompts. I'm also not doubling up on these. So there we are. I haven't visited one school completely. I think Castlebro, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that one, is the one I've gotten the furthest in. There's different levels within this, which I didn't write in because I didn't have space, but I've got it here in my bullet journal. If you visit 3 schools, you are a Triwizard Champion. 5 schools, you're a Flu Fanatic. And if you visit 8 schools, you are a Supreme Mugwump of the International, I think, Confederacy of Wizards. So the goal is to finish all 8. But again, we'll see how far I get. And then the lovely Pop Sugar Reading Challenge of 2020. I've got this purple floating book washi here, also from Creating & Co. I'm going to stop saying that. And I found these banners on Pinterest, and basically all I did was take a screenshot of them and print them out on sticker paper, and I hand cut around them. And each of them has a number within it that corresponds to 1 through 50 of the challenges here. So I'm basically just putting a check in between the number and the prompt once I finish it, and filling in the banner on this side as the rest of this has been going. Except for this, I just decided to use silver to write in the book titles because, like I said, the bronze is really thick. If it's an audiobook, it's written in silver. If it's an ebook, it's written in bronze. And if it's a physical book, it is written in blue. So looking at it, I feel like I'm making some progress. So far, I don't think any of my books have not counted yet. And then here we come to readathon pages. Again, I was doing like 1 page per readathon in my bullet journal, and I knew I would have a lot more space this way, so it didn't make sense to do it that way. So I'm testing out to see, and it kind of all depends on if I know in advance how many readathons I'm participating in each month. But like February, I only had 2. I had the Book Lover Readathon and the Creating & Co book club, which was just a week-long readathon. I've got the photo prompts there, not the photo prompts, the reading prompts here. And if these are squiggled in, then I have finished the book. If it's written in a color, then I started it. And then if it's in just plain black ink, then it's what I intended to read but didn't get to it. I've also got photo prompts and then the hashtag to use. And then I also participated in February Reads, which lasted the whole month. And I just used these check marks. They're rose gold foiled from Sticky Sloth Designs. I'll link where I got these printables, where the washi tape is from, and anything else I used in the description box below, so you don't have to remember where these things are from. But I just used them to check off the prompts that I completed. And then March, I've got 3 readathons. The House Pride Readathon, hosted in the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners Facebook group. The Irish Readathon, hosted by 3 other booktubers, Aoife at Fred Weasley Died Laughing, Elaine at Elaine Howland, and Leanne at Leanne Rose. And then I've got the Shop Your Shelves Creating & Co challenge, which is just the month-long about reading books you already own. And then I've got this green floating book washi from Creating & Co, and this ombre washi was released for the Book Lover Readathon because Creating & Co is a planner sticker shop, and she always releases matching book washi for each of the readathons. So those are what I've got right now. April will probably be a 2-page spread because it is the Magical Readathon OWLs hosted by G over at Book Roast. But other than that, I've got a couple blank dot grid pages here. I didn't know how many I needed, and I can always print and cut more, which is the nice thing. If I don't like the setup, I can take pages out and move them around, redraw them, and not feel like my whole planner is messed up, because I like things to be as perfect and as neat and organized as possible. So there is that. I think other tools I've used, I've also got a black Pilot G2 gel pen, my other Zig Memory System Millennium markers, and then I have been using this ruler for the long edges, and I've got a short metal one that's only like 6 inches that I use on a lot of setups that I use to draw smaller things. So that is everything, I think, for this. I know it's pretty redundant and it looks pretty much exactly like what the bullet journal I was using looked like. It was set up, how it was set up. But I liked the setup. It just, the planner itself wasn't working for me, and I didn't have the flexibility I needed. So this is just another way if you're interested in kind of tracking your reading for the year and things like that. So I really hope you enjoyed. Like I said, everything I mentioned will be down in the description box below if you care to take a look. Some of the shops mentioned I have a referral link for. So if you use them, you either get a percentage or a dollar amount off. Each shop is different. Feel free to use those if you want. You don't have to. And I think that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this quick-ish, probably not so quick, little flip through. And I would just love to know how you track your reading. If you post pictures on your Instagram of it, please do let me know in the comments below, and I'll go check out those Instagram handles and just kind of get ideas for next year. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will chat with you down in the comments until my next video. Bye!